Welcome viewers, I am Pia and you're watching NewsX. Our focus now shifts to the American publication, the Wall Street Journal, which has released a so-called exclusive report on AAIB's preliminary report on the devastating crash. The Wall Street Journal is making sham claims regarding the cockpit audio that has been mentioned in the preliminary report, claiming that it was the aircraft's captain who cut the flow of the fuel into the plane's engine, leading to the first officer asking, "Why did you cut it off?" While the preliminary report does not specify who said what in the short exchange inside the cockpit, Wall Street Journal has claimed to have cited American officials investigating the crash as foreign media continues its spree of pinning the blame of the tragic crash in which 275 people lost their lives on the pilots. While there has been no response from India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Boeing or Air India on this particular report, the Federation of Indian Pilots has come out strongly against the claims that have been peddled by the Western media. Joining us on the broadcast this afternoon is Captain Surjit Panesar, who is a senior aviation expert. So thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to NewsX. The Wall Street Journal has released an absolutely bogus sham report. We've seen similar such reports being peddled by Firangi media over the last few days that claim that it was a pilot error, but nowhere in the AAIB preliminary report has this been written. In fact, the AAIB report highlights the conversation between the pilots where one questioned, "Why did you do it?" and the other categorically stated that he did not. So why is the Western media painting these falsehoods in your opinion?
Well, let me tell you at the outset, ma'am, this preliminary report which is submitted to the Ministry of Civilization has yet to be seen how the Secretary of Civilization takes the report and gives his opinion. But these Manohar Kani written by AIB is not acceptable by any professional. Let me tell you at the outset, when this aircraft came from Delhi to Ahmedabad, they say the pilot had reported some snag. There's a book known as Pilot Defect Report. Did that pilot write the report in that PDF? If he had written, did the AIB investigation board question that pilot? What was the snag? What did you write? Did they ask the engineer on ground at Ahmedabad after landing from Delhi? What action you have taken on the snag if it was written by that pilot? It was not written, then they should have questioned the pilot also who operated that flight. Now coming back to this preliminary report and the crash of Boeing 787 at Ahmedabad, the main pertinent question is the deployment of RAT after takeoff. The RAT is deployed. The Boeing company should, why they are silent as of today? They should come out and tell us whether the RAT was deployed due to electrical failure or the both engine failure. Second thing, it is not digestible by any pilot who is flying that both engines failed and they try to call cockpit conversation, because nobody knows what is the cockpit conversation. Only this AIB knows that they have not made it public. Right from day one, I've been telling, I've written letter to Chief Justice, Supreme Court of India also, let there be judicial inquiry, let professionals come and analyze the reports. They will not let anybody know anything about the DFDR, the cockpit was reported. Whatever they mention, it has to be accepted as a Manohar Kani, which will continue for many years. Now, I also find many self-styled aviation analysts have spruced up from south, and they are giving their own figment of mind in the committee to further confuse this board from investigation. I do not understand how you select these panelists who have no experience of flying high-tech aircraft, wide-body aircraft, and they are giving judgment about the pilots. It's a very regrettable situation today. No truth will come out of this investigation if this investigation is kept with the AIB or the DGCA. It has to be an open public inquiry or a judicial inquiry where the truth comes out. What is our main interest? Our main interest is to find out the truth of this crash, why it happened, how it happened, whose fault was it. If there's any pilot fault, engineering fault, weather fault, ATC fault, let's find it out. And after that, only take the opinion of professionals and let's see how to avoid such recurrence in future. In this investigation report, did they involve any 787 pilot? Did they involve any engineer to take his opinion? No. How come they get the knowledge of the whole technical aircraft just because they are appointed in a committee? The government has given this opportunity to join and investigate the incident. In the past, many committees, they have established that the DGCA, they have no competent officers to investigate it. They are the jury, they are the judges. Now, under such circumstances, what justice do you expect from them? You just take it. You see, the main theme of this DGCA and the AIB, if a pilot dies, put the blame on the pilot and protect the Boeing industry and the GE company of engines and all that. If by any chance the pilot survives, they don't let him leave like picture damani, tarikh pe tarikh lagaye rahenge, and the case will continue for many years. This report is not going to come out in the next few years, and ultimately the blame will be on the pilot. They have to have an open judicial inquiry, public inquiry, where the professionals also come and give their viewpoint. This is the state of affairs in our aviation. This is a mockery of aviation in India. This is my comment. I don't have to say anything further on this.
So a quick follow-up to that. Why is, in your opinion, the Firangi media not focusing on the 2018 notification issued by the Federal Aviation Administration that flagged issues in the fuel switches? Why are they peddling a bogus narrative of pilot error and not the facts laid down in the report? The fact that issues in the Boeing 787 fuel switches were flagged by the FAA in 2018. That notification is still on the FAA website.
Ma'am, I appreciate your question. Very good question and reliable question, but whom to ask? There's no point in asking me. Ask this investigation board. Ask the Boeing company. Ask the Air India what they have done about these circulars and what action they have taken after getting mandatory or recommendatory circular. Recommendatory is up to the airline to take an action. Mandatory, they have to take an action. No, this question I cannot answer. Only let these inexperienced investigators who are making the stories of this magazine, Manohar Kania, let them answer these questions. Or let the Air India answer these questions. Let the chairman, chief operating officer, or the head of the engineering department of Air India answer these questions. They are valid questions. I appreciate what you're talking about.
Absolutely, sir.
But
Thank you
who's
so
to
much.
answer?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for taking our time speaking to NewsX. Viewers, I'd like to remind you that the AAIB report that had come out highlighted that both fuel control switches, they went in from run to cut off within 1 second, and we do know how they operate. They have to first be pulled and only then can their configuration be changed. So the larger question is that if the Wall Street Journal is saying that it was a pilot who's done it, is it even humanly possible for someone to do it in 1 second? And why would the pilots then issue a desperate mayday call and then desperately also turn the nose of the plane up, which is an obvious attempt to save lives? The Wall Street Journal has clearly not taken this into account. And why are they putting a pilot error theory at this point when the AAIB has clearly not stated anything in this regard? It also comes as there have been whistleblowers in the past who have flagged issues. The FAA report has also been cited by the AAIB, where fuel control switches and issues in that have been flagged by the US FAA. This is also not something that the Wall Street Journal has referred to. So, what exactly does the foreign media aim to achieve over here? Why are they pinning the blame on the pilots when nothing related to this has even been hinted by the AAIB in its report, which has remained very, very factual to this point? I'd once again like to thank Captain Panesar for taking our time and speaking to us on the broadcast today. But